Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our webinar. I saw on the registration form from GoToWebinar that many of you are searching for a new job. My first question today would be, how many times have you applied for a new job? Why do I ask? The applying for the job today could feel pretty easy. You can use ChatGPT, you can use all kinds of free AI tools to polish your CV, to write your motivation letter. But what can be very overwhelming is getting responses from company. Sometimes they don't answer, sometimes they send a very short reaction, very short letter that you are rejected. The skills demands are changing rapidly. The AI is taking jobs over, so it can feel quite challenging. And how to deal with these challenges? Today, with Estefania, we will give you some tips that can improve this whole process. Let's have a quick peek on the agenda today. In the first part, I would like to stick to the traditional job hiring process, to the traditional job architecture. I will explain how to structure your CV, how this ATS works, ATS being applicant tracking system, and what can you do to get through the filters. But the focus today will be on the explaining how to move to skills-based recruiting, how to adapt and what to use. Estefania will show you a very nice, nifty everyday tool that will help you to identify skills gaps and build your skills-based CV. Why is focusing on skills so important today? Time ago, Gartner organization, it's the very famous analysts firm, they did research on trends that in the space of AI-enabled recruiting. And the conclusion is very clear. Companies are moving to skills-first approach. And what does it mean? Skills-based talent management, as they call it, is ability to understand what people can and cannot do. What are their interests, drives, and motivation? In their research, 83% of HR leaders said that they have problems to find enough talent with the necessary skills. And over 90% of organizations are considering to move to skills-based talent management. And if organizations are moving to skills-based talent management, job seekers should move too. And it's important to be prepared for this stuff, for this shift. And today, generation of job seekers still need to cover two words. We are in the transition from the traditional based hiring to the skills-based hiring. And that's why in this webinar, we will introduce both methods. My name is Ališka Wendt, and I am supporting practical AI tools, especially in the recruitment tech. My background is quite technical, so my presentation can be technical as well, but my aim today is to help you with simple tips to improve your journey for a new job. So let's start with the typical CV. I have here a CV of my fictional friend Ingrid Baker. Ingrid is a young online marketeer with a few years of work experience, a solid set of skills, a good education, and relevant certifications. And her CV has also a very nice summary in her profile. She is highlighting what she consider the most important skills, which is very nice. But let's see what happens when Ingrid is looking for a job. So what will happen? Today, if you look for a job, you probably go to LinkedIn, you go to Indeed, you search online and you find job position, you read them, and if you like them, you apply. Ingrid did the same. She found a marketing manager job at company chapter. By the way, this is real job. I did not invent this job. It was on Indeed. And the question here is, what will happen when Ingrid applies for this job? When she sent her CV and probably motivation letter as well to the chapter company and applies for this job, the first step what will happen is that her CV will be read by the ATS system. ATS is applicant tracking system. It manages for the hiring manager all kinds of tasks, and one of the tasks is to see how well does Ingrid match with the marketing manager job. So let's have a look. So first what you will see is that Ingrid named herself as online marketeer, but they are looking for marketing manager. Would it be nicer if Ingrid used better affinity job like marketing executive, marketing organizer, that would give the ATS machine enough to score her with good points on the job title? But if you look further, um, Ingrid says she has expertise in the digital marketing strategies, but they are looking for digital growth marketeer. She mentioned that she has social media marketing, but the job is looking for managing social media campaigns. She could easily change all this description in the words of the job opening. And then they are looking for someone who has data-driven approach. And Ingrid wrote, I analyzed campaign data. Would it be nice if she used a little bit more keywords of this job description? The same is going on, and I think you get the point. Ingrid has the skills and qualities and experience that are described in the job opening, but she does not use the same words. And what does the ATS machine? They are using all kinds of affinities. They are trying to score how well these all are matching together, but they will not give her a full point. So what will get the hiring manager is a list of applicants, and in this list they will just show how well is everybody matching. So would it be nice if you help ATS a little bit with a couple of points using the right keywords? And then you will see that on top will be probably listed and candidate that fulfill all mandatory fields. But the hiring manager will want to invite more than one candidate, and they will look further. And even candidates that do not have full skill of mandatory skills, the ATS will list what they are missing. And that's very helpful for the hiring manager, but a little bit less for the job seeker. So here are the tips how to work on your documents so that you are getting through the ATS filters. First, my tip would be create your master CV. Put there everything what you have done, everything what you are proud of, everything what are skills, education, everything. Make it big document. Call it my big beautiful CV, whatever. But when you are applying for job, tweak your master CV to the requirements of this job. Make it relevant. Use bullet points, summaries, and use only information that is relevant for the job. Very important is that you mirror the keywords where possible. And ATS also love numbers, so use numbers. For example, um, my achievement was 40% increase in lead generation, or anything what you can be proud of. Use very clean CV formatting. The ATS machines, they like the fast processing, so PDF document or a text document, it's good. Don't use very extensive templates with a lot of graphic elements. Now, and the last point is the ChatGPT and AI. And very often I get a question, shall I generate my CV by using ChatGPT? Yeah, you can try it, but the good HR manager or HR professional will see it and they can also check it. They can detect it. There is a site mentioned Zero ChatGPT. You can try it by yourself. Send there your CV and they will immediately give you how well, how much in percentage did you create the ChatGPT and what is your work. And I don't say you should not use it. You probably should use it, but not for the full generation. And this is for the traditional way of job hiring, probably the tip how to get through the ATS. To make it a little bit structured, I will have a look from the helicopter point of view. If the employer is creating the job opening, then they have to describe a lot. If they don't copy the job opening, if it's really bright new, it's a whole process. There is involved marketing department, HR department who is seeking a person, so IT guy will give input. So it's a whole process and they will describe everything in one document. If you are creating your CV, you will be describing your qualities and what you have done. And you probably will not describe what you seek. It's your query that you are going to use when seeking for a job. And when seeking for a job, you have this query in your mind, you go to Indeed, you go to Everday, and you find a job opening. If you send your CV and motivation letter, what will happen is that from this perspective, they will look on your CV. So make sure that this perspective works very well, that you score the points that you can score. And that's from my part, the tips on traditional way of marketing. And I would like to give a voice to Estefania, but before we go there, I think we run some quick poll. Estefania?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Aliska. Before I start, we have a little poll that we want to share with you. So you will see it right here on your screen because we're very curious to see if you have recently analyzed your CV by any AI tool. So it will be interesting if you take a couple of minutes to reply the poll because we're curious to see what is your favorite solution that you use or if right now you are not using anyone at all. So we will leave this pool open so you can reply in a couple of minutes. Um, well, Eliska, thank you so much for the intro and for the invitation for the conversation for this presentation. My name is Stefania Hernandez, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about Everday, which is the startup that I'm currently CEO and co-founder. But before that, I always like to share a personal story about it. One of the reasons why we start building this technology that it helps person to showcase the skills that they have, acquire their entire career, and also the match that they have with the future role is because in a personal experience 2 years ago when I was looking for my new job opportunity after have been a CEO and founder of startups for almost 10 years, I found myself a little bit confused because as an entrepreneur you do a little bit of everything. One day you are the person in finance, another day you're the person in marketing, then you see yourself in sales. So when the moment comes to just go outside and look for a job opportunity, it can be a little bit confusing to see, okay, where is the best match for me? So back then, after having some conversations with some friends, I ended up landing in a position of chief of staff for engineering, which for me, I think it was like the best role for me, because as a chief of staff, you need to be aware about the concerns about the founders. You need to be on the daily operations and have this overall view about the company and what's going on. So I landed into this role, but some months after, I had this conversation with the VP of recruitment, and she told me like, if I don't, at the beginning I was very confused whether they assigned you to this role because you have not matching with the requirement for it. First of all, you didn't even finish college, you didn't hold this role in the past, you don't come from a consultancy firm, but now that I saw you performing on the role, now it makes sense for me why the skills that you acquired before as a founder, it helps you to have this role of chief of staff. So for me, now that I came and started building Everday, it was very obvious for me to see, okay, what if in the future, which I think is already now, companies start recruiting based on skills more than the roles that you have in the past or education that you have in the past, because as the skill of every role is changing so fast, this is something that comes with it. So that's why we start building Everday, because we were asking ourselves, what if you could show the full story of your skill and not just your job titles, and know exactly how your abilities match with today's and future roles? So first of all, what we did is that we developed this technology that first of all grabbed your resume in this case in order to showcase and discover the real skills that you have acquired in your current or last roles, but also the skills that you acquired during your education or certifications that you held in the past. And secondly, it helps you to see the match that you have with your upcoming role, which I will show you a little bit more in a minute. But this gives the visibility not only to job seekers, but also to companies to start seeing in a more transparent way who might be the best fit for a role, and also you as a job seeker to have a clear visibility about where your skills makes more sense in a future role. And lastly, it helps you to prepare for it. Let's say that tomorrow you want to land in a new role, but you are not exactly very sure about the match that you have currently with it, or what are the skills that you need to acquire in order to be more suitable for it. So right now with Everday, a skill passport, that is possible. But I will show you how it works. So first what we're going to do is that we're going to scan the CV that Eliska shared some moments ago about Ingrid Baker. And what our system is going to do is that it's going to analyze with our database of more than 40,000 skills that we have in order to see, okay, what are the skills and level that are more potentially to Ingrid to have based on this context that the system has. And then it will give us a library about the skills. So I will change the screen and probably will make this a little bit bigger. So this is the skill passport, which in a moment I will give you the access so you can also try with your own information. But here what you are able to see is an overview about who Ingrid is. First, it gives us a brief summary about the current experience, the past experience that she has, and who she is as a person. And here it gives us the match that it has with her current role or the last role that she held. I'm going to go deeper in this section in a bit because I want for us to start with this, my favorite part that is called set an ambition, which is basically the part that you need to go when you want to see the match that you have with a future role ambition. So if tomorrow are you thinking about already position yourself in a vacancy, this is the best place to start with. So let's say that she wants to become tomorrow a marketing manager. So she can add here the title of that role. And then here it asks us a question, okay, what kind of a company that will be? So here we might say if it's, for example, on a scale-up, we can say, okay, I want to be in a fast-growing, people-centric organization with an entrepreneurial spirit. And also, what kind of impact would you like to make? So this helps us to also have more overview about what role it might be the best one for us. So we can have here, for example, building brand visibility and generating measurable growth through smart strategic campaigns. And then where do you picture yourself working? So here, for example, we can put, I see myself in a hybrid environment, collaborating closely with the functional teams. So that's something that we can add. And then lastly, what excites you more about this ambition? So for example, we can say the chance to lead a team, innovative with new tools like AI, and drive real change in a growing company. So we can submit it, and our system, what it will do is based on the ambitions that you have for your coming role, it will start creating what are the roles that makes more fit for it. So we will hear it here in a minute. And before we end up our webinar, I will share with you the QR code that you can scan. So for today, you can access for free so your skill passport, and you can play with Everday skill passport and see where it might be the best role for you. So this usually takes a couple of seconds to appear, so it will be here. So here it already tells us like, okay, based on all the requirements and the place that you want to work and how do you envision yourself, the best role that might be fit for us, and a strategic marketing manager. So we will set it as an ambition, and what our system will do in a minute is that it will start seeing what skills that she has are already a good fit for it, and it will give us an overview about the match that we have with this role. But in the meantime that Everday is working in analyzing, I'll explain you more about how to read the current match that you have with a role. So for example, let's come back here with Ingrid and see that she's currently a 92% match with an online marketeer role. That this might be the role that she had currently or that she held in her previous company. So here we might see that, for example, there are some skills like project management that she's 0 gaps right now because she's level 4 out of 4 that is needed. But let's say time management. She's currently level 4 out of 5 that is needed for the role. So if we want to see more in depth, what Everday skill passport allow us to do is to see, for example, what is the behavior that a person in a level 4 currently has, and if tomorrow, for example, she wants to increase the level of the skills of time management, it also gives us an overview about what does it means, what is behavior that a person in that position must have. And here, for example, this is, I think, a very important part is that Everday gives us context about how does it rate this person as level 4 out of 5 that is needed. So here you might find information about, okay, I analyzed all your information and I saw that you had this job in the past, you had this certification. So with all the evidence combined, it gives us the results that we can infer that you're level 4 in those skills, which is also give us more context and more reason behind the why you're score in each one of the skills. And here, for example, something that we can see that I found it very interesting is your skill library, because here you might be able to filter by roles that you held in the past about all the skills that you acquired in each one of them, and also the level of it. And now let's go to this section that is called Smart Match. With Smart Match, what it allows is for Ingrid to see, okay, if tomorrow I want to become a strategic marketing manager, which that's my ambition, today I'm positioned at a 40% matching, which it gives me a broad space to grow and keep learning. So here, for example, Everday tell us in our growth areas, okay, probably one of the most critical gaps that you have is strategic planning, because right now you're positioned as a 2 out of 6 level, and also with user experience 3 out of 6, and creativity 5 out of 6 that is needed. So you might be here if we see a full list about the skills for topic, so you know, okay, if tomorrow, for example, I improve my trend analysis skills, that will make me have a higher score in the match that I have with this current or future role. So you might see all the overview back up with data in this section. And I'm going back to the presentation, and here I would really like for each one of you to try it. If you're right now curious to use Everday Skill Passport in order to help you to keep landing your next position, to have this visibility about what skills you need to improve to actually create an impact for your next position, I really recommend you to scan this QR code, and then you can upload the PDF of your resume or also about your LinkedIn profiles, and then with that Everday will start scanning all the skills that you have held in the current role and past roles, and also about your education. So I will leave this slide on, and Eliska, we would like to go back with you.
That was our webinar for today. Thank you all for joining, and I hope to see you in our next webinar. Bye-bye for now.
Perfect. Thank you, Eliska. Have a great day.